This presentation highlights the BCGE Group's annual results as at December 31st, 2022, as well as its priorities and outlook for 2023. The bank demonstrated excellent performance in 2022, proving its ability to capture the dynamism of the most buoyant economic sectors. Net profit hit a record level, up 40.5%, reaching 176 million Swiss francs. As a consequence of this increase in earnings, the bank will propose a higher dividend at its next General Meeting of Shareholders. Key performance indicators show a positive trend. An increase in mortgage loans, as well as in assets under management and administration, demonstrate the bank's competitiveness. Its productivity is on par with that of the top universal Swiss banks engaging in international activities. Its profitability, measured by return on equity, is above that of many of its peer competitors. Lastly, the bank's equity capitalization ratio is at an optimal level and above the minimum requirement. Revenue rose sharply thanks to the bank's successful strategic orientation. Operating expenses, which will be mentioned later on in this presentation, reflected the bank's investment dynamic. As a result, operating profit also rose sharply. The bank achieved remarkable revenue growth in 2022, making the most of the change in the rate regime and minimizing the effects of the stock market on its fees. The bank's business model is well diversified, as demonstrated by an analysis of its revenue. BCGE is a major contributor in the financing of Geneva's economy. The bank granted 18.5 billion Swiss francs in loans to companies and individuals, an increase of 169 million Swiss francs in 1 year. The share of mortgage loans shows a high level of asset diversification, with a weight of 43% of the bank's balance sheet total. Client deposits rose 6.7% to 19.4 billion Swiss francs, giving the bank a high mortgage cover ratio of 149%. This increase demonstrates how attractive a safe bank like BCGE is in a year of stock market and geopolitical uncertainties. The gross interest margin grew significantly by 16.2%. At 291 million Swiss francs, this margin represents a new record for the bank. It is a result of a rise in commercial business volume and an adapted ALM strategy. The contrasting economic situation affected commissions in 2022. While securities commissions were down by 7.1%, credit commissions were up by 0.7%, and other commissions increased by 3.7%. The share of revenue associated with commissions was high at 28%. Despite the economic situation in 2022, assets under management and administration remained resilient, totaling 33.4 billion Swiss francs. Private client assets increased, while institutional client assets mirrored market performance. The bank continues to invest in digitalization, IT security, and the energy transition at a steady pace for the benefit of its clients. One example is the major renovation of the BCGE I headquarters. The BCGE Group created 39 new positions in 2022, bringing its total number of full-time equivalent employees to 874. Shareholder equity continued to rise, reaching 1.984 billion Swiss francs thanks to an 8.6% increase. More than 1.3 billion Swiss francs of additional shareholder equity has been created since 2005. The coverage ratio amounts to 16.5%. BCGE belongs to a select group of well-capitalized banks as demonstrated by its high Standard & Poor's rating. The bank welcomed 83 new shareholders in 2022 and is pleased to see the number of institutional and private shareholders increase year after year. Its board share base is well distributed, given 83% of shareholders hold between 1 and 50 shares. The BCGE share price had a good year, increasing by 11.8%. The share price is gradually approaching the intrinsic value of the share, which, taking into account the changes in shareholder equity, stands at 278.7 Swiss francs. The stock's upside potential remains significant. With a payout ratio of 29.5%, the bank has built up a very solid capital base year after year. It is thus in a position to finance its growth as well as that of the Geneva economy. At the next annual General Meeting of Shareholders, the bank will propose a 22% increase in the dividend to raise it to 5.50 Swiss francs. BCGE creates value for all its stakeholders. It is committed to a long-term approach, whether for shareholders, clients, the community, or its employees. This year, the total annual return on the share was 14.6%, and the total financial contribution to the public sector amounted to 72 million Swiss francs. The bank has created almost 1.9 billion Swiss francs in value since 2000. A substantial part of this amount, 77% or 1.43 billion Swiss francs, has gone to the public sector. On the left-hand side of the screen are the challenges that were presented at the mid-year results presentation in August 2022. And on the right-hand side, the bank's achievements at the end of the year. Mission accomplished for the bank in its role as a central partner of the regional economy, with outstanding loans at 18.5 billion Swiss francs and mortgage loans at 13 billion Swiss francs. Private assets reached 18.8 billion Swiss francs and Synchrony investment funds 3.5 billion Swiss francs. BCGE is a very active partner in Geneva's internationally oriented economy, with 29.7% of revenue generated in euros and US dollars. As a result of investments in digitalization, a growing proportion of new accounts are opened online. Last but not least, the bank is supporting its clients in the context of the energy transition. The bank has defined 7 strategic priorities for 2023. To act as a key partner of the Geneva economy and be the leader in mortgage financing in a persistently high-price environment. To build on the bank's success in the field of private banking thanks to a focused and high-performance investment philosophy. To develop niches in the asset management market. To endorse Geneva's economy and trade, to promote banking digitalization and assist clients in the energy transition process. In 2023, the bank will continue its commercial expansion and capture the dynamism of buoyant economic sectors by relying on the diversity of its skills and on the ability of its business model to meet the demands of the Geneva and Swiss economies. BCGE believes that its strategic orientation is conducive to the growth of high-value-added business. The bank's financial strength makes it a stable financial guardian. It carefully notes any change in interest rate trends and advocates a prudent credit policy. The bank aims to develop less capital-intensive business and is broadening its corporate offer. Barring a deterioration in the economic situation and given projected business developments, BCGE expects overall earnings for 2023 to increase.